excited.
I
Hmm.
am excited. Yes, and we're live. Welcome everyone to our next Winkeltje Gigs today. My name is Anna. I am one of the people behind Winkeltje Gigs, and English isn't my first language, so please be gentle if I make any mistakes today. But welcome to our live stream, and yeah, for anyone who's new here today with us and asking, well, what's Winkeltje Gigs? Well, we're here at the art supply store at the Han University of Applied Sciences, and it's a shop. It's a winkeltje in Dutch. And here at this winkeltje, we're having gigs. So that's what this is. Yeah, it's kind of inspired by Tiny Desk concerts. And yeah, this is now a project by Ontmoeten. And that's all part of Han School of, let me check one more time, Han School of Social Studies, you say it in English. So, Winkeltje Gigs is one of our projects by Ontmoeten. And another thing I would like to mention before starting this whole gig and stream further. Next week, it's Week of the Connection here. And Ontmoet is also part of that. So, for all students and staff, keep an eye on those type of flyers and posters. And we would like to see you on the Week of the Connection. Nice. Um, I'm a bit nervous for this.
Same.
First time I'm doing this all. But I'm very glad that you're standing here next to me. So
Thank you.
let me invite you to Bram, our artist for tonight.
Hello, my name is Bram. I've been advertised posted as just Bram, which is kind of because I'm, yeah, as a musician, I've been developing and simplifying what I do musically. Um, and I guess my real artist name is just my name, Bram van der Hoeven. And I play bass, as you see. I make electronic music. And yeah, I love music. I'd love you to hear it. I can't
Great.
really explain how it sounds, so you'll have to hear. But the basics is that I've been working on my computer, a laptop, like for almost a decade. And I got a bit absolutely tired of the tunnel vision and the emails. And so I just wanted to make a simple setup, back to basics, my bass,
Mhm.
and this sampler here. And I'm going to be looping and affecting and trying all kinds of stuff. It's very experimental, unusual. Probably some
Cool.
things will go wrong, but
So it's
I'm
also
gonna
it's not only experimental as a genre, but also experimental for today.
absolutely, yeah,
Wow, that's I'm excited for that to hear.
cool.
Cool. Yeah, and we actually met today. You had earlier a conversation with the rest of our team, and you've told at the first conversation, like, I would not only share some of my music, I would also like to share something more about myself.
Yes, yes. Well, I've been working for the past 3 years as a volunteer in the mental health field and doing courses on recovery.
Okay.
And recovery is a theme that's very central in my life for the last 3 years. I've suffered from mental health stuff for over 10 years since I was an early adult.
Wow.
And yeah, it's had a big impact on my life, and not
Yeah.
just negative, also positive.
Cool. So before we are going further on this subject, we should probably give us a little trigger warning for anyone who is sensitive for mental health as a topic. Take care of yourself, and if this is not the right moment to hear something now about this topic, well, maybe turn then the volume for now down. And if you see Bram alone at our stage, then it's time to put your volume again up because then the music will probably start.
Cool.
Yeah. So after saying that, you've had some experience then by yourself for 10 years, you say?
Yeah. And I've just been recovering. And one of the most important things was peer support. And there's a
Wow.
whole movement starting up right now in the Netherlands, but all over the world. And roughly translated in Dutch, it's ervaringsdeskundigheid. And in English, it's roughly translated experts by experience.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
we're trying to spread awareness and change psychiatry from our own experience in mental health. And
Hmm.
I've noticed when I've started to communicate with peers who've gone through similar things, my whole recovery went like this.
Great.
So, yeah,
And where did you find your peers then?
it started with, for me, at Steunpunt Stemmen Horen. It's a thing Roman Timmers initiated. It's for people who hear voices, and I've struggled with voices for a long time, and now they're not so bad anymore, and sometimes even positive.
Okay.
And I self-stigmatized for a long time, felt guilty, felt embarrassed, and then I was invited to come talk about it at Stump and Stemmenhoren, let's say supporting point, hearing voices, roughly translated.
Mm-hmm.
And there were people who heard voices just like me, who were completely normal, creative, kind, just nothing like, the association some people have with hearing voices, like crazy, schizophrenics, violent.
Yeah.
And while hearing voices can be, crushing and suffering, they also can be nice. And most importantly, anyone can recover from them if they affect your life in a negative way.
Okay.
So, and, you know, experts by experience also, work for hearing voices, but also when it comes to depression, psychosis,
Mm-hmm.
mood swings, all kinds of things. And yeah, it's just a breath of fresh air to have people, who know how it is working in the mental health field.
Yeah. Just I was totally forgot about to say that if you have any questions to Bram, Bram is open to answer some of your questions if you have them. So you can leave questions at chat, and then I probably will get those on my mobile phone, and yeah, I can ask them to you
I
maybe.
would love to answer pretty much any. No question is too bold or, yeah, I
Yeah,
feel.
yeah. So you're very open now, talking about your experiences, and what makes you driven to talk about it?
Um, yeah, it's just exciting to be part of a new movement in mental health. Yeah, I've decided that I just want to, yeah, if I can do something positive with my experience with depression and like a lot of horrible experience, if I can turn it around to something that's positive and helps people,
Mm-hmm.
that's amazing and a privilege. And yeah, also has to do with creativity and music. If I can use that platform to spread awareness, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm honored.
And that's probably why you're also interested now in the ervaringsdeskundigheid study in, how do you
Yeah,
say it again in English?
yeah, experts by experience.
Yeah,
I think
that's right.
they made that name up. Like
Yeah.
it's not official yet, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If I think this year, for the first time, the uh, opleiding
Study.
study is going to start, and next year another one.
Okay.
And I think it's like a 2 year study
Mm-hmm.
here, indeed, at the Ham. And yeah, you can learn about how to form your experience into something that helps other people.
Yeah. Yeah. And some thing you learned from your own experiences was that the peer support group was really helping in your recovery.
Mm-hmm. A lot.
What are more like what was also helping you in the time you've had a tough time with the mental health? What was also helping you through it?
Mainly two things. Well, first of all, um, um, my head, like staying sane, thinking about things, second guessing
Okay.
some thoughts, but most of all, actually, music and people around me. Uh, it doesn't even have to be a big support group. Just one or two people can
Mm-hmm.
be enough to keep you going.
Yeah. Was that for
And
you the case? One or two people?
yeah, my family, yeah, a lot of friends didn't understand, and they saw me slipping, and I get that from their perspective. It was painful for them,
Okay. Yeah.
but luckily, my family, they kept close, and it's also you only need, one person who sticks with you and believes in you and just listens, even if it's not easy for them. Um, yeah, to get through it, and everyone can get through it.
Yeah.
And but also, of course, meeting points like Stump and Stemmenhoren, supporting point, hearing voices,
Mm-hmm.
Team Herstel of the Aribe Way. Uh,
Yeah. It's in English. It
the,
sounds a bit strange. Then. Yeah.
yeah, um, can help. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. And music also helped. You said. How
Yeah.
did making music help you then?
Well, music is for me like my
Or
life
listening
isn't.
music, actually. Yeah.
Hmm?
Or listening music, not only making
Yeah, listening
music
as
in.
well. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's like the only stable factor in my life.
Wow.
And that, but then it's like also completely stable,
Mm-hmm.
like no other thing can be or that you can expect. So I was thinking this afternoon we had a conversation, and in a way, music is always there for me, and it's emotional and spiritual, and it connects me even, to sometimes what I see as something like God and my own emotions. But it's not as complicated as a person,
Mm.
and people can be amazing in what I personally eventually need, for full recovery and a bit of a deeper connection. But people always ask, they're complicated and it's reciprocal. Music is kind of, I can ask anything I want out of music. And, if I work for it or practice, it's going to give it to me.
Mhm.
So that's for me like people and music. I need them both. But
Mhm.
people are a bit more reciprocal, music a bit more one sided in a way.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine that for music and to make your music, you put effort in it before it's going to, yes, start buzzing around.
Hmm.
How does it work for
Yeah.
you?
Um, yeah, just a lot of passion for the work. I try to just like the process
Hmm.
and not focus too much on the end result. Although I can be very critical, um, the main thing is always making music,
Yeah.
and it doesn't even matter that much if it's good or some standard. But on the other hand, that attitude keeps me improving, and it's just a never-ending journey into creativity and feelings and yeah, thoughts. And
That sounds great. Yeah.
thank you.
And sounds also that music is really important for you in your life.
Yes, yes, it's very important. Always has been. I feel like it runs through my veins.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And probably especially those in those 10 years you've had yeah, your ups and downs with mental health.
Yeah, it's totally been there for me. And I also had moments when I was like hearing voices and they criticized everything about me,
Hmm.
literally everything, and they were very, very mean. But when I started to make music, they were saying, "Oh, this actually sounds pretty nice."
Wow. And are they saying it that most of the time now? I can imagine that there will be also with you tonight.
Uh, a little bit. Um, it's a bit too complicated to get in that subject, but
Okay, that's fine.
it definitely, yeah, they are a lot more positive now, and they are even now kind of like indication from my subconscious I need something.
Hmm.
They often say, give me hints about my life or what I need, that I'm hungry, but in very harsh ways.
Mhm.
Um, so instead of feeling attacked by the voice, I'm like, what's behind what they say,
Oh yeah.
and
So
it helps me.
you've get to know your own voices better and
Exactly,
knowing then better what they need.
exactly.
Yeah.
Interacting with them instead of being afraid of them, what they say. We try to learn that behind them is something that's trying to help you or giving an indication of something. It was
Yeah.
very hard for me to get over that hump, extremely
Mhm.
hard, because they say nasty things. But in my experience, there's always something behind it. So, yeah.
Well, good that you've yeah, learned a lot about it and
Hmm.
now yeah, feeling the same. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. I'm gonna check if there are any questions maybe. Um, Thank you, René, for the compliment you get me. No, I don't see any questions. Well, if you're ready or want maybe anything to add to this interview,
Mm, hmm. I guess I'll just start.
yeah, I'm really yeah, curious to your music and well, if we yeah, what we're going to hear and the experiments we're going to hear. Thank you. Uh, by anyway, thank you now for sharing this with us and sharing this for your performance. And yeah, should say, lay down your microphone and
Yes,
let's
thank you
roll
very
with
much.
it.
Good questions.
Thank you. Cool. That was your performance, Bram. Thank you. In the meanwhile, there
You're
were.
welcome. That was way more vague than I expected.
Yeah, it
Seriously.
was.
Yes.
Yeah. Although I really enjoyed the trip.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Same
I
here.
did. Yeah, and
It
I've.
was like my anxiety found its way into the music, seriously.
Yeah.
So I guess that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's. I really enjoyed it, and I'm very sure that our viewers also did.
Amazing.
In the meanwhile, there were some more questions coming in for you about the topic we've talked earlier about.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, are you willing to answer there still?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good. I'm gonna get them.
Hello, people, by the way. Hi.
Yeah. Yeah, there are viewers.
Yes.
So, yeah, the first question I've had was, have you ever heard people discriminating you because of your mental health? And if so, how did you deal with it?
Good question. Mm, yes. But honestly, the most I experience is self stigma. Um, simply because the most discrimination I encountered was not direct, it was indirect. Like
Okay.
someone, who doesn't want to see you anymore, which is also understandable if you're going through a hard time or going to psychosis or can't even make a proper sentence anymore.
Mhm.
But also the psychiatry system, where, the question they ask these days, it's changing, is what is wrong with you? And you have a
Yeah.
disorder, borderline disorder,
Mhm.
disorder, depression disorder. And so you go there with the feeling that there's something wrong with you. Well, in my opinion, depression is often a natural thing. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be. It's also chemicals and stuff. But like a lot of things in mental health are natural reactions to things you have encountered in life. Or so, yeah,
And
I guess years in psychiatry have made me think there was something wrong with me. So more that in the sense of discrimination than direct. Yeah.
so that they start at the problem when you get help instead of.
Yeah, it gives you the feeling that there's something essentially wrong with you and that you don't fit in society.
Mhm.
Well, I think I'm in most ways, perfectly healthy, and my head is just responding in normal ways to things that go on under the surface.
Yeah.
It's like it's not a disorder; it's just mm, my brain's way of reacting to what's happening. And,
Mhm. And you've mentioned self stigma. So, for anyone who doesn't really know what self stigma is about, could
yeah,
you explain it
well,
a bit?
stigma is the word alone is when certain things are not talked about in society, for instance, and are frowned upon, but people don't really understand them.
Mhm.
Like these days, you know, you see, um, for example, like you see in pop culture, a lot of like pop culture psychiatry about borderline or narcissism. And it's like, those people are bad, don't talk to them.
Mhm.
And so, you know, people automatically dismiss people who have those disorders, while reality is a bit more complicated than that. There are people who have their own trauma, their own experiences, their own problems, you know, who they, yeah, do kind of project on other people, but there's stuff beneath that.
Mhm.
I guess. And self stigma is when you say to yourself, I don't belong in society,
Okay.
often also because of the stigma in society. And I'm a loser. I don't belong here. People probably don't like me because I'm sick. I am crazy because I think these things.
Mhm.
And, you know, I've been going around with these thoughts in the past, luckily, still sometimes, quite often.
Luckily, still.
No, no, no.
Oh.
In the past, I said,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
luckily in the past. Yeah. Okay.
That would be kind of fucked up if I lied to that.
Well, yeah. Maybe it brought something to you.
Yeah, everyone has their kinks, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Um.
yeah, you know, telling yourself you're not worth it because experiences you've had with yourself, yeah,
Yeah.
self stigma.
Well, and luckily it's more in the past than now for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and something more about. Oh wait, I'm lost one question. Oh, here, over here. More about that people could dismiss you in life.
Yeah,
Um, I've had also a question: how does your mental health affect your social functioning, and like working, doing groceries, going to a party, things like that?
very good question. Um, it did a lot more than it does now, but in short, it's a pretty big task and it can suck big time, especially anxiety. When I came here today,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, just meeting new people, just a lot of fear and anxiety. And you know, these days I can tell myself I want to move through it and confront the situations and eventually gain some trust and move through it a bit, exposure, but also, you know, finding my balance.
Mm-hmm.
But I am glad I at least am going through social situations now.
Yeah, yeah.
And society, like shopping, goes better every time. Sometimes there's a bit of anxiety, but
Yeah, because when you say I'm going through it every time, that's also it sounds like it's really well hard to do every time, and you have every time to confront yourself with it.
yeah, yeah, I think I made it sound a bit worse than it is.
Okay.
But there are really hard times, but it also gets better every time. I now have where like 3, 4 years ago, everything was a chore, everything was almost horrible, I'd say. Now it's like 1 in 3, 4 times I suffer from fear and anxiety in social situations, but sometimes now also with the right medication and uh, support. Um,
And staying exposed to it.
yeah, I can't just hole up in my bed all day anymore. I felt like that for a long time, and sometimes I guess it was necessary, but I have to get out there, and
Mhm.
it does get better. But I also can't deny it can be pretty fucking hard to go through it. And yeah.
And in our conversation earlier, you also told about that your view in life was changed in time when you were while you were
Hmm.
recovering.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess the most important thing I want to give myself and maybe other people is that, you know, um, I don't believe that there's a big bad world out there. I think, you know, people just have complex minds and they make mistakes, and that's okay. And they are
Mhm.
irrational, just like me. Everyone's irrational. But I think the core is okay. And I need to believe that to make important steps in life.
Yeah.
I can be cynical personally. It's helped me the most. Staying positive, also with Buddhism, compassion.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's my thing.
And it's a this also deal with trust.
Um, yeah, a bit of an abstract question, I
Yeah,
guess.
it sounds a bit for me like also having trust in life.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It
But
helps me
maybe
to.
that's
No,
wrong.
no, it's
No.
great. It's
Okay.
great. Yeah, definitely. Um, it helps me to indeed believe in, good things are coming. People are not bad. People are not evil. Everyone's trying their best. Even when I'm stigmatized or even bullied, it's just, yeah, it's part of the deal of being human. And yeah,
Yeah, that's also like, yeah, you're being human.
and that's okay. Also, being irrational is okay for
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh wow, there are even more questions coming in. Thank you. Yeah, are you still ready for some questions?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, if it's enough, right? Yeah.
No, I'm having fun. So,
Okay, good. That's important. Yeah. How can we mention the mental health topic without sounding discriminatory or disrespectful?
I guess I think you should feel free to ask any question you want. Um, and sometimes you have to dare to ask an insensitive question to come to an understanding.
Mhm.
So yeah, I guess I can tell you how to think about it. There are a lot of more sensitive ways to ask questions.
Mhm.
But I guess just try to do your research, talk to people, ask honest questions. And everybody makes mistakes, so maybe, I'm going to say you're going to have to ask insensitive questions now and then, to get to the point.
Okay, yeah. So dare to ask questions.
Yep, that's it.
Cool. Well, the last one for now then. Let's see. So this is about someone whose friend has also experiences with hearing voices, um, and he's
Oh, cool.
yeah, but he is
You are
really
not alone.
suffering. He's really suffering from it now. In that point that he wouldn't leave the house anymore.
Hmm.
So, is there anything this friend can help their friend?
For sure. Well, first of all, you can even contact me if you want. Um, do I give my mail or something? Anyway, there's a Steunpunt Stemmen Horen here in Nijmegen with Robin Timmers. You can look it up. Uh, yeah, we are all there to help you, man. You don't have to be alone with this, and a lot of people go through it, and you can recover. You can recover. A lot of people have.
So there's this support point, stemmen
Yeah,
horen,
Steunpunt Stemmen Horen. Yeah,
steunpunt sterren
it's
horen,
in
stemmen horen. I'm sorry.
it's in Nijmegen,
Yes.
and it's
And
very busy.
what could this friend do for them?
Um, oh, good question. Well, there are twice a month. There's the Stemmenhoordersgroep, the Voice Heroes group, and we
Mhm.
come together twice a month to just share experiences, how we deal with hearing voices, what bothers us, and every time there are beautiful people, beautiful stories.
So that's giving support in the group.
Yeah, basically we listen to each other. And
Yeah. And I was actually asking like the friend who was now asking for that's how do you say it? Take cares about this person. What can this person do to support the one who has
oh, you're talking
voices?
like the hypothetical friend, like if there's someone in your environment who can support you.
Yeah, how can you support then
Ah, yeah,
someone
of course.
with this with deal with this?
Yeah, sorry, I misunderstood the question a
No
bit.
problem.
Um, Phew, yeah. Uh, it's sometimes very hard, even for me, to refrain from judgment. And even for me, I've been through voices, I've had psychosis, I've thought really weird stuff, and I've been depressed. But even for me, I'm like, ooh, that's weird. Oh, I'm not sure if I'm can be hanging with this kind of person if they're going through such weird stuff, or
Hmm.
is that uncomfortable? And try to put your prejudice aside and look at anyone as a person. And there's a lot of stuff behind that surface, and then you can just listen. And in my experience, those prejudice, it disappears after a pretty small while, and you get to see the person, and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah. So what I've also heard you say earlier, make sure you listen to the person.
Listening, yeah, and try to refrain from judgment.
Yeah. Also
when you
very
listen.
important. I think that's also something which is really educational for social workers in the field and social workers who are studying here at the Han. Yeah, I feel. Oh, let's see.
Thank you for reaching out, by the way, fellow voice hearer. It's amazing you ask, and
It's actually
yeah.
the friend who reached out.
Oh, okay, the
Yeah.
friend who reached out. Ah, okay. Well, tell him he can get better, and maybe look up Stuntpunt Stemmen. It's in Nijmegen, very close by. Yeah.
So I think this will be the last question for now. Thank you everyone for asking the questions. Last question. Do you feel like people treat you differently when they find out that you hear voices? And also, thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome. Actually, I have a bit of a hard time reading social cues,
Hmm.
so I don't really know how people treat me in some kind of objective way. But not really, actually, because most people I know, they're just kind, and I get to know them, and they want to listen. So I bet it's happened a couple of times, but for me, it doesn't really matter in the big picture because I'm always looking for connection, and yeah, there's a lot of connection and a lot of people who want to listen. So I bet there's a lot of stigma out there, people who don't want to, but there are more people who want to listen. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That sounds very helpful to keep your eyes open for connection.
exactly, yeah.
Wow. And also one more. Thank you for so much for sharing your experiences. It was very insightful with a heart. So yeah, thank you
You're
all
welcome.
for the reactions and the questions. And Bram, thank you very much for being here with us today and share your musical and personal experiences. And I think this was it for today. Hope to see you next time at Winkeltje Gigs. And next again, thank you very much for being here, Bram.